Welcome to the 232nd episode of the Video Games podcast, where we talk about any game at all, including new stuff, old stuff, and anything in between. If we are playing it, we'll be talking about it. Today, we are recording on May 12th, 2021. My name is Brad Galloway. I am the editor of GameCritics.com and 50% of this here show. With me is the king of content himself, Carlos Rodella.
Well, hello. I grace you with my presence. I am.
Welcome, Your Majesty. Welcome.
Thank you. Where's the red carpet, by the way? Because I didn't see one.
It's outside your door. Sorry, I thought you were going to come out, and then we did this instead. I had it already. Put it in the wrong place. My bad.
Was it Amazon to me? Is it an Amazon package I was supposed to open?
Put it on your back porch instead of the front door, so you didn't see the red carpet there.
Yeah. Well, anyways,
all right.
It's good to be
here we are. It's good to be. It's welcome to be here. Happy to have you. I don't know what I'm talking about. Don't know what we're doing. Podcast maybe.
Off the rails.
Off the rails already. Great start to this show. Let's keep that energy going. Carlos, we usually open up with housekeeping. You got anything today?
Guess what?
What?
Good. I'm glad you guessed. Well, you guessed what? There's nothing in my house really except one thing.
Okay, one thing. I know that we usually have stuff piled high in our house, which is divided down the middle with a strip of duct tape. I don't really... I guess I have one thing. I was going to save it for the end, but I will say it in here at the beginning. Boy, I can't podcast at all.
Can you say it here? Just say it right here. We are in
trouble, folks. We are
Wait. Brad, ready?
What?
Say it here. Go there.
Yes, here, go there. What am I doing?
You're saying something from your housekeeping.
Oh, you want to go first? I thought you were going to go first.
Oh, I'll go first.
Go first.
Because it's only one thing. And by the way, the duct tape that's going down the middle of the floor or whatever, it's getting dirty. I was going to tell you that last time. We got to replace it.
We don't actually replace it. We just put a new strip on top of the old strip.
Oh, that's gross. It's going to have hair on it. So the only thing I have is that we on this podcast want to like interactive movie type games a lot.
Yes, that is true.
And we've played a lot of them and liked maybe a couple, but most of them we haven't. Is that fair to say?
Fair statement.
Okay.
Yes, agree.
A new one just came out, and so I thought I'd bring it to the table before I downloaded it and see if we both want to try it or if we've just given up. It's called Poe and Monroe.
I saw that in the store.
It's on Steam as well. It looks more well produced, and it does feel like it understands what it is, and it feels like an indie series or something. So it doesn't feel as corny as the other ones. And so I've been really tempted, and it's cheapish in the $10 to $15 range,
which is the good range.
It's by Diavecchi Studios, and it says guide local radio hosts. I love radio. We're doing a podcast.
We're doing it.
Guide local radio host Poe and Monroe through 6 TV-like episodes of supernatural strangeness and sizzling on-screen chemistry. Well, that's out to... We got to figure that out, if that's really a thing or not. From the creators of The Infectious Madness of Dr. Decker, have no idea what that is. And The Shape-Shifting Detective, have no idea what that is.
So that was... I was going to say, I did see this in the store, and I thought, like, we were on the same wavelength, brother. I was thinking the exact same thing, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I like these kind of games, or at least I like the idea of them. There's a big couple that have been winners. I was going to pull the trigger, and I still may. But when I saw that it was by the makers of Dr. Decker and The Shape-Shifting Detective, I was like, screech on the brakes. I did not like either one of those. I thought they were both
you played
terrible.
Both of them.
I played both of them, and I did not finish either one. I did not think either one was good. So I'm
geez.
Well, the premise is cool. I like the idea. The setup seems neat. 6 episodes of spooky radio personalities. That seems like it's kind of fun. But man, those other 2 games were not good.
Well, here's the thing.
I paused.
Yeah, okay, and that makes sense. And I didn't know that you played those, so that's good information. But like indie game developers or even AAA and AA, and also people who make music and any content creator, you can suck at a bunch of stuff and then all of a sudden be really good.
Absolutely
right?
True. Absolutely true.
So,
which is why I was still considering it, right? I didn't rule it out. Like the way that I have ruled out all Ratalaika games, that company doesn't exist for me anymore.
Fuck this.
But I was like, well, maybe the third time is going to be the charm with these folks. I don't know.
A review from Game Industry News, and come on, they've got to be pretty
They
credible.
got their finger on the pulse. I trust what they say. Who are they again?
I have no idea, but they're called Game Industry News. I guess it's all Game Industry News, maybe.
Okay.
Let's just say if you're into the X-Files, She Sees Red, and Until Dawn, you're gonna love Dark Knights with Poe Monroe.
I mean, maybe. All right, I'm gonna go take another look at it. I'll poke around. I feel like I'm 50-50 right now. 50.
Okay, just bringing it to the table. It's my only housekeeping. I have nothing else, so there it is.
All right, fabulous. Okay. TBD. I'm gonna make a little note to myself here. I was gonna save this for the end, but I guess I'll say it here now, and then I guess maybe I'll just remind people at the end. So, special announcement for Video Games. Unexpected twist, plot twist, new surprise. I was not going to play Resident Evil Village. I was not, and it was not on my radar. I had plenty of other things to play. Don't like scary games, as everybody who listens to this podcast knows. But man, I gotta say, like, the FOMO just got too strong, man. I just, like, everybody in my timeline was talking about it. Everybody was posting pictures. Everybody was, like, photoshopping that big sexy lady in with themselves and stuff. And I'm like, man, I feel like I'm missing out. I feel like I want that lady to chase me around the house a little bit. I feel like maybe I want to be part of this conversation. So against my better judgment, I did pop for Resident Evil Village, and I have been playing it. Was playing it right before I got on this podcast. So did not expect to talk about it, but will talk about it. And further plot twist, Carlos, you are going to be taking a quick break from the show next week. Carlos time, me time, self-examination time, going down to Cabo, I believe.
No. No, I'm not. And
Puerto
also,
Vallarta?
I've been there before in summertime, and it was way too hot.
Okay, not going to Cabo. Going to an undisclosed safe house somewhere in the Midwest. And while you step out for your brief sabbatical, we are going to be joined by former co-host Corey Motley. He has been playing a ton of Resident Evil Village. I believe he's already finished it, actually. So he's going to jump back on the show with us for just one episode while Carlos takes a well-deserved break. Carlos will be back with us the week after that, probably talking about Mass Effect, I would imagine.
Yes, I'm bringing Mass Effect with me to the undisclosed location.
Good call, brother. Get in there and just play that thing with no distractions, no Wi-Fi signal, so no one's calling you. Just get in there and just play that game. That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
So anyway, heads up to the listeners. Next week, we will be joined by Corey. We will have a heavily slanted episode focusing on Resident Evil Village, but there will be other games as well. I'll bring a couple more games to the show. I don't know what else Corey has going on, but that's what's up. So if you are a Corey fan, he's going to be making a special appearance. If you want to hear us talk about Resident Evil, we'll be talking about that next week. So just heads up.
And a quick 2 cents from me. My hot take on Resident Evil Village is, it's like you're playing it right now. Pretty far in, or how far in?
At this point, I'm almost done with the castle section. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but the section where the lady chases you around the house.
Yeah,
that section.
Yeah, the minor spoiler is that lady should be in it more, which I'm sure you heard on the internet.
Lots of people telling me that is true.
Lady D is kind of a a bait and switch, and then it just feels like an action-y game that's not very scary. That's my only 2 cents.
Are you playing it right now? Did you already play it?
No, I played 2 sections.
Just the demos.
Well, two of the demos, yeah, and then the very, very beginning. But then I talked to my friends, and they said nothing really much changes. It just gets actually a little more action-packed near the end, which isn't a spoiler again. It's just like it gets more action-y. Yeah. And so, it doesn't seem like a scary game, but it does seem like a Resident Evil 4-ish type game, and that's my 2 cents, and that's it.
That works for me. I will say that it started out kind of spoopy. And then I was kind of like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to hang, right? Like I was thinking maybe I would bounce because it got a little bit too scary. And I was also playing by myself at night. My wife was super tired. She couldn't sit with me because she had a long day at work. So I was on my own and I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't play this by myself. But then it got actiony and I'm like, okay, I'm cool. Like it's cool when I'm shooting stuff and running around. Like that's no problem. So like I started to not be scared. And I say that as a good thing. And then I was just shooting dudes and running around, getting the weird shaped keys, doing the strange puzzles. And I'm like, okay, this is just like old school Resident Evil, except for the hallways look super nasty, and when you go in the kitchens, all the food looks gross. But otherwise, basically just like a first-person Resident Evil. So I feel like maybe I'll be okay. I feel like maybe I'll be able to go the distance, unless it takes a real hard turn left. But
it doesn't. I mean, I don't think it does. And also, if you want another hot take, this character Artie, he's right here right now. Hello, I'm Artie. And he shows up in this podcast very often. He's done a little quick review, 40-second review.
I did see that 40-second
All
review.
right, and I won't spoil it for the kids, but if the kids are on the TikTok, go to TikTok at Video Game Sketch, and that's where and now I'm Artie, by the way, and that's where I do a review for the Silent Hill, The Village.
A little bit of a tangent here, just for you, Carlos, to make you feel warm and fuzzy inside.
Who's Carlos? I don't know who you're talking about.
When he gets back, please tell him.
Okay, I'll tell him.
So what happened was, totally not related to video games. We're just taking a hard tangent here, folks. Bear with us for a moment. I do a lot of other gigs. I have a lot of stuff besides being the editor of GameCritics.com, and one of my gigs is that I do mentoring with a lot of students right now for sign language. I am a sign language interpreter in my normal day-to-day proceedings. It's something I'm very good at. I am probably an expert at it, and so I teach kids how to do that when they want to do that with their lives. I don't recommend it. Don't do that, kids. But if you're going to do that, do it properly. And we actually did use some of your videos as training for the kids. I got your videos. I got your Resident Evil video, put it up on the TV, and had them do some sign language. They were interpreting your video, and it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's crazy.
Yep, you were our subject for the day, and I'm like, here's this guy. I didn't say that I knew you, right? I was just like, here's this random guy I found on YouTube.
Wait a minute. You're like, here's this guy who didn't put any closed captionings in and is like an asshole and doesn't do...
There was nothing asshole-ish about it.
Okay.
I was just like, here's this guy. He's talking about Resident Evil. Pretend like you got to do this for a job. If you're a sign language interpreter, do it right now. And then we did. Okay. It's cool. It's good learning.
I wish I could put that in the video in the corner or something.
I'll bring it up to them. Maybe they'd like to do it again.
Really
good
fun.
Good stuff. Anyway, you're doing the Lord's work there, Carlos, and you didn't even know it.
I guess so. Thanks.
All right, let's get back to games. I'm sure the people listening are like, what the fuck are we even talking about? What is this show? I thought I came here for games, and I'm not getting it. Okay.
Put in the show notes. They can skip to 13 minutes.
Exactly. Skip all the bullshit at the beginning. We're getting to games. So housekeeping's over. We're going to get right into the meat of the show today on episode 232. Carlos, as per usual, we're going to start with you. A little game called Don't Give Up. I saw it on the Switch. It's probably on PC. I don't know anything about it other than it's kind of like a top-down indie style, like just kind of an RPG basic sort of a thing. That's all I know about it. What's the deal with Don't Give Up?
Yeah, they call it a comedic retro-inspired RPG. It's actually more of an adventure game. You know, in that kind of thin line between how much combat are you doing, how much leveling up are you doing. And again, we could have a whole episode, which we should at some point, about what makes an RPG. But I think there is combat. I know there is combat. I don't know how much leveling up there is. I haven't really done a lot of that. But there's acquiring of items, and there's a lot of dialogue. So it feels like more of an adventure-y type game. But it is a straight up, it feels like Earthbound, which, tangent, I just backed, what was it called?
Oddventure, isn't it? Is it Oddventure?
Yeah. And they just made their Kickstarter, which is awesome, their goal. So that has an Earthbound feel to it as well. And this kind of does it the same, but in a different way, because it is really about one person's story that you're kind of playing through. It's not that, again, you're not creating a character and going into a world. You're basically taking on the role of this person who is
a pre-scripted
character. He's an indie game dev. It's the actual indie game devs are really based a lot of his own, struggles and stuff with life in the game. So you're really kind of playing through his life in that way. And I actually like when devs do that and I like throw more of themselves into the story. It's kind of interesting. And this particular game dev and the character that you play as has anxiety and depression. And so basically, I think he says like he just tries to avoid people. He's got a little sidekick called Mochi, which is kind of like that Game Boy guy in Adventure Time. I forgot what his name is. It looks like the Art of Adventure Time too. So when they do little cutscenes with the heads, little profile pictures, those are very much like Adventure Time.
Okay.
And then the graphics are all just like pixel based, and you run around, just like Earthbound or any of those kind of top down view character games. And so you start off with a really depressing like past memory that's like tough, and it's kind of about like suicide and cutting yourself. And it's real. you know, and you play through it just to kind of experience what he's experiencing or has experienced. Then it goes back to present day after like a dream sequence, and you in the dream sequence, of course, you learn how to do battle and combat. It's kind of a tutorial within that. And then when you wake up, you're just like in a house in your apartment and with your, TV and your basic stuff. And I love modern settings in games. You know this.
We don't do it enough in games. I think we should do it more.
We don't. And I just think we all can relate to it. So I don't understand why we aren't, even something like, was it 12 Minutes coming out soon? I know that's like a very specific type of game, but it's like, modern living room and modern bedroom. And just, I kind of like that setting.
Yeah, yeah.
So you really kind of like, get this guy's where he's coming from and the frustrations and the kind of sadness he has, and he lost his job and, a while ago, and he lost his girlfriend. And so he's just going through life, but then there's like really funny, quirky moments that happen with characters you meet. And he meets this girl at the elevator and is kind of like tongue twisted and doesn't know what to say. And again, there's dialogue options, right? So am I picking the right pickup line or whatever, or am I just like being an ass, And then the combat is this like kind of a defensive combat. So when you get into combat with people, like the first one is like someone steals some woman's purse, and so you run after him, like to be a hero. And what it goes to a screen where you basically have 4 squares, just like the directional pad, and 2 of those squares or 3 are usually like damage because the enemy is like hitting you in those squares. Mm-hmm. But if you jump to the one that's safe, you're safe. And then when you're on that safe square, you can attack. Very interesting. And it's all action based. And then when you break the character's guard after hitting him enough times, you get really close and you can just hit him as much as you want. And then his guard comes back up, and then you go back to that 4 square situation. And I've never played a combat game like that. And it's like almost relaxing in a way. It's not like super stressful. You're just kind of like not trying to get hit and parrying and stuff, and then you're attacking back. Very cool. I like it. It's a really fun style, and it's like this whole game. The whole game is like not too much. It's more in the emotional side of things.
Interesting.
And I really like it. I mean, I really do. I've been over video games for a couple weeks now. And this and one other game on this podcast today really got me enjoying them again. And this is just because it's an RPG that's like Earthbound with someone who has depression. I have huge swaths of depression.
I mean, who doesn't these days, man?
Yeah. And so there's a lot to be relatable there. And I really like it, and the characters are funny and quirky. And there's one other mechanic I've never heard of. Before you fight anybody, you do this section called small talk, which means you can like choose like insults, but you can't be too mean, because if you're too mean, it gets them revved up, and then they get really pissed. But if it's like a good burn, then they're like, "Aw," like they feel
like
bad.
just like a morale. Damage or something like that.
Yeah, there's like buffs and debuffs in this like little talking area. And it reminded me of Earthbound 2, because once you like get one of these buffs on them, so like say I made fun of this one guy, I go, where'd you get that shirt from, the bargain bin or something? And it worked because he actually like felt self-conscious about his clothing. And then it goes, bad guy is feeling self-conscious about his clothing. And it was like, I got a buff.
Oh, okay.
Because I made him feel like, but you do it too much, and then they're trying to show you that you don't want to like be really mean to people. And then when I'm too mean, they're like, well, yeah, fuck you. He's like really overconfident. Right,
and they just want to punch your face in after
that.
Yeah. So.
It's just, that's the game. I think that kind of summed it up, and I really, really, really recommend it. Like, it's what, $10 or something?
Where are you playing it? I saw it on Switch, but it's probably on PC. Where are you playing it right now?
I'm playing on the Switch. Isn't that crazy? Okay. I'm playing a Switch game.
Pretty good fit?
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, no text is too small. Everything's great. It looks beautiful. Like, there's really fun cutscenes. It was an Indiegogo I just saw before, and then it made it there. And yeah, man, it is great. And it really is gonna, I haven't got further enough along, but you can see a lot of moments and touch points in this where it talks about mental illness, like for real, like people who have problems with social interactions, depression, all that stuff. The first cutscene was, about him not wanting to be around.
Right.
What a great way to explore that, where you actually want to play through this thing. It's like not preachy,
I mean, that's one thing that games can really do is that they can take a player and mesh them in their world, immerse them in what's going on, kind of show them the perspective of someone else in a way that just isn't totally possible in books or movies. Like it feels different when you're actively participating in something rather than taking it in passively. So
Yep.
I think there's a lot of space in the video game zone to kind of explore, not necessarily that it has to be like edutainment or something, but to explore narratives, to explore stories, to try to show other sides of people that, maybe that's not an issue that you have, but you can play this game and understand this issue that somebody else might have. Or if you do have it, then maybe you know that you're not alone and someone else knows what you're going through. So I think there's a lot of really good utility in games for that kind of thing. And of course, it's the indie space. I mean, I don't see anybody really, really doing that in the AAA space. Of course not. So,
Well, we did see Hellblade. Hellblade did that.
okay, Hellblade. Okay, I mean,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that's fair.
That's
fair. I haven't
like
played through
double A,
Hellblade,
I
so.
guess, if you want to call it that. But yeah, that's definitely like trying to get people to understand what it feels like for certain people dealing with these situations. And before I leave this review, music is very good, like spectacular.
Okay.
It's got that Earthbound quirkiness, but then it's got like lo-fi trip hop all of a sudden, and it's just delightful. Like none of the music overstays its welcome. And then the only negative, which if we say this and if they listen, which I hopefully the devs will, because I'll send it to them because I really love this fucking game.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Certain you do talk with yourself a little bit, just kind of like in Disco Elysium.
Okay.
I forgot to mention that's another
like
mechanic.
internal dialogue.
Yeah. And you're talking with your brain, so your brain is pink, and so for some reason the text is pink, and
is it hard to read?
that one's a little hard to read.
And
It's like on the Switch, so you're like anything that's bad or anything that's even a little bit hard to read is tough.
Yeah.
So hopefully they'll hear this and I'll be like, hands in a prayer motion, kneeling on the ground saying, please just maybe change that to like a dark pink or a red.
It's funny you bring up the whole pleading with the developers to please change the text, because we are going to be saying that phrase a lot this episode.
Oh, here we
That
go.
is going to be a thing.
Wait,
All
let's
right.
call that the name of the episode then. Pleading
exactly?
with the game.
Pleading.
Oh, that's a little long.
That's a long title. That is Don't Give Up, currently on the Switch for $10. Sounds like a winner. Big recommendation from Carlos there.
Don't Give Up, a Cynical Tale. Sorry.
There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you. Moving over to me for a second, I want to talk for just a brief moment about the Colonists. Very, I don't know, dangerous thing to call your game these days, because colonizers are not really in vogue, and it's a very
Have they
bad
ever
thing.
been in though? Sorry.
I mean, true, but I don't think that society has really looked at it as negatively as we are now. Like, I think in the past it was kind of more portrayed as we're exploring the wild and we're
Okay.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
they were kind of painted as the heroes, but I think in modern times now, most people are like, okay, actually colonizing is fucking awful and we shouldn't do it and we should respect the indigenous people. I think the tone has shifted on that, which is good. Like, colonizers are bullshit. So I was a little bit surprised to see somebody name their game The Colonists. I mean, that's kind of a little bit of a bold statement there. But thankfully, it's not about that specifically. The Colonists is a top-down, sort of a resource management, town-building game where you play as robots who are escaping Earth because they do not want to be the slave race for Earthlings anymore. They've packed themselves into a ship and they've blasted off into outer space. They found themselves a new planet where they can be free. And the game starts with you landing your rocket and then a couple little group of robots getting out of the rocket and like assembling their supplies and setting up things, and then you take over. And the point of it is you need to set up things in this town that will help the robots survive and flourish. So it's kind of like you set up roads and you set up houses and you set up like resource paths for your guys to go back. I mean, it's a very common template, right? A lot of games do this. I will say that the robots are super cute. They're like white and rounded edges, and they're kind of squat. They kind of look a little bit like Eve from like WALL-E. Like, she kind of looks the iPhone robot a little bit. I like the design of them. They're very cute. And when you land, it says something about like these robots were designed to support human life, and so they persist in those patterns or something like that. Because you would think, well, robots, right? Like, what do you need to do? You need to mine for minerals. You need to set up an electric generation plant or something. But like, a lot of what you do is like you set up like wood chopping and a lot of things. You're like, well, why am I doing this? Why do I need to get water? Because we're made to do that, I guess. So anyway, small point. once you start playing, it's all like, okay, here's a forest, and let's set up a logging house. And then you build your little logging house, and then the robot, the genderless robot, starts chopping down the trees and building the wood back. And it's all well and good, right? Like you know how this goes. Everybody who's been playing games for a little while probably has played a game like this. There's a bunch of them out there right now where you just have your little robots or your people or your workers or whatever, gather resources, build some stuff, get some more resources, build something bigger. That's pretty familiar loop. It was cute. Controls were okay. The idea of controlling robots running away from humans, I'm down with that. That seems nice. I will say, though, that I ran into problems pretty quickly with the Colonists. First problem, it's fairly buggy. I ran into a few places where I was supposed to do something and just nothing was happening. And I'm like, well, am I doing the wrong thing? What's going on? I just started this game, so I don't know if I'm making a mistake and no, it's actually the game. So there was a couple times that I had to just straight up restart the game or shut down the whole, shut down the program, reopen the program and go back into it and get it running again. And then when I would come back, it would work. So clearly that was a bug, something happened and it wasn't working. That needs to be polished out. That's really irritating. The second thing that I think is a more of an actual design problem is the way that this game implements roads. Now, to set the scene for you, you need to have roads connecting everything because that's how the robots get back and forth. They don't just walk across grass or across dirt or anything. You need to build a little road. Fine. I mean, that's very common. That's a very common thing in these kind of games. Build a road from your base out to your wood shop, and so that people can ferry the wood back to your base. You build a base from home base out to the rock quarry, bring rocks back and forth. We all know how this goes. This is very straightforward. The problem, and it just blew my mind, man. It just blew my mind. When you're building a road, the road must be between 4 and 6 squares long. It must be, or else it doesn't work. You cannot make a road of 1 square. You cannot make a road of 7 squares. It's got to be between 4 and 6 squares. That is a very hyper-specific measurement of road, and I don't understand why the fuck it is, because there were many times when I would set up a house for my robots, because robots live in houses, and I would put them next to each other, and I'm like, oh, this is such a cute little neighborhood. I feel like I'm really using my land effectively. Oh, shit. My house is only 1 square away from the next house. I can't connect it because the road can't be 1 square. I'm like, why not?
That's weird.
Fucking makes no sense. And I was just like, I couldn't process it, man. I kind of froze. Had a little emotional shutdown. Didn't know what to do with myself because I'm like, how do I even play this game? Because everything's got to be between 4 and 6 squares away. It's crazy because no game does that, right? You can
and then what are you gaining from doing that?
Right, I don't understand why they did it. So what ended up happening was I started to play the game as I wanted to. I was having fun, setting up little houses, setting up a quarry, setting up my logging zone, setting up my fishing zone, and I'm like, fuck, none of this stuff is connected because it's all not at a multiple of 4 or 6 squares, and I got to move everything around, and then I had to demolish stuff and move stuff back around so that it was 4 squares apart. And I'm like, this is stupid. I'm spending all my time measuring out road when I should just be building and connecting these roads like every other game of this kind. I don't know why they did
rage
that.
Quit. I would have rage quit right at that moment, because especially if you built something already.
Yes, and to be honest with you, I did. I rage quitted at that point.
No, I can.
I'm like, this is fucking irritating. This game is cute. It seemed really simple and fun. I was gonna get into it. I just had my drink, had a little blanket wrapped up, was all cozy. Was gonna build some town, and this fucking road thing comes up, and I'm like, it just blew me away. And I don't know why it is. There's probably some story about, hey, we were developers and way back in the beginning of development, we chose this because it made sense at the time. And now that we're releasing the game, it doesn't make sense anymore, but that's the way it is. I mean, it's probably some story like that, right? What you should have done was fix it. Don't fucking leave it like that because it's bonkers.
Well, you think in playtesting, again, we talk about this on the show a lot, but a playtester should notice that right away, right? You go, hey, why can't I do this? That's what a playtester says. Why can't I do this?
I mean, yeah.
My biggest question, though, is I'm looking at the art. Why do the robots have to act like people?
I know, right?
The whole world I'm looking at looks like The Sims, and there's sheep. There's fucking sheep and houses. These are robots. And I might add, I'm going on a thing. I've never even played this game. They wanted to get away from the humans.
Yes.
Shouldn't they build all crazy cyber things?
I kind of had the same feeling. I'm like, why? I mean, and like I said, they say when they land, we are built to serve humans, and so we persist in these behaviors or whatever. But it's like, okay, so basically, you're just making a town builder like any other town builder, but you've got robots. I mean, why though? Like, you're
Why
not really
though?
capitalizing on the robot aspect of it. You just have swapped out humans for robots, and the road thing was just like it was so irritating. Like, I couldn't deal with like how finicky it was, and I wasn't really playing the game. I was just like, I mean, you might as well make a puzzle game about building roads, and every road's got to be between 4 and 6 squares or something. That's kind of the game that I felt like I was playing, and I didn't want to play
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, the Colonists. It's a game that exists. I think it's pretty cute. It's really a shame because I think there's a lot of good things about it, but with the beginning premise of replicating human behavior and this crazy road system that should have been fixed, I did rage quit it, dude. I stepped away. I could not play it anymore.
All
So
right.
all right, that is the Colonist. I played it on Xbox X, although I think it was actually probably an Xbox One code, but whatever. All right, back to you, Carlos. Let's talk about a little game called Skate City. What I know about this game is it has skateboarding. That's all I know. What
That's
else
it.
does it
There you
have
go. That's
besides
the review.
skateboarding? Is
That's
that
the
it?
review.
It's got skateboarding.
So, Video Games Reviews, Skate City has skateboarding, and we like it. That's it.
8 out of 10
Oh,
skateboarding.
I would give it almost a 9.
9. Whoa, good
Yeah.
skateboarding. Okay.
No, this is I very much like this. This and the No Way Out. Is it No Way Out? Don't give up. No Way Out of this segue for Carlos. Hey, Artie, get in here. What do you want me again? For what? To get you out of your pickle? I'm not going to get you out of your pickle.
Don't give up on this segue, Carlos.
All right, hold on. I'll stick around then. What is this? Skateboarding? What are you guys talking about? Skateboarding? Didn't that go away in the 90s? Hey, listen, I'll get out of your hair.
And here we are. Yes, this is one of our finest episodes.
Hey,
ever.
were you just making fun of Artie? He's right here. He can hear you.
Skate City
Skate
is what we're
City
talking about, folks.
Is a side-scrolling skateboarding game, very much like Ollie Ollie. But there's a big but. One, there's a big butt in the game. No, there isn't. There is a big butt smash in the game. I can't remember. Don't give up. There's a butt smash as a thing that happens. Anyways, the Skate City is side-scrolling, and the big butt is that they're bigger characters, right? So not like Ollie Ollie's really teeny little characters. These are like, I don't know, not half the screen, but they're just a bigger character. How do you describe a bigger character?
I mean, I think you just did. Like, they take up a lot of the screen real estate, right?
They take up more of the screen real
characters.
estate, yeah.
Okay.
And you're going left to right, and it's not just simply left to right. Like, I feel like Ollie Ollie was just almost like an arcade game in a way.
Sure.
And I know that there's a new one coming out, and people are really excited. But for me, a lot of those mechanics are still there. Of like, if you mess up, you kind of like are screwed. That's why I love Skate City. The first off thing is, before I tell you about how the game works, the skateboarding itself is fun. It feels like there's physics. There's definitely the manuals. There's definitely like doing kick flips and all the different tricks you would do. And then balancing, right? So you're grinding and then you're using a little balancing like Tony Hawk. So it feels like Tony Hawk mixed with Ollie Ollie. But when you like eat shit, it's not like game over. It's just, you're invincible for a second, you come back to life and go back at it. And if you're doing like a time trial, you're doing these things that you need to do to pass the level, you'll just pick up from where you fell and you'll try to do it before the end of the level, right? So you don't feel like you're screwed. It's like Trials, right? Trials, you still have a shot at it, right? Isn't that how it works?
Yeah, you just pick yourself up and keep going. Maybe you take a time penalty or something, but
yeah,
you just keep going, man. Just keep doing it.
It's like that. Yeah, it's almost like it's also like Descenders a little bit and Downhill, Lonely Downhill or whatever, Mountains, because it's got that a little bit of physics in it, But again, you're just skateboarding left to right. And then as you're going into the levels, you'll find like, things to grind, you have to jump over things. There's people and pedestrians there and stuff. So at some point you might actually have to, jump over them or ollie them or you do tricks near them because you can hit them and like fail, which is funny. And here's the other thing about why it's better than Ollie Ollie is because it's more forgiving. So say you pull off a kick flip, it's almost automatic at times, but then like sometimes you can still fail it. But I just feel like if you're jumping up onto like a ridge or something and you don't hit it just right, it's a little more forgiving than just like, again, fail, right? Like some of these other skateboarding games that are arcadey just fail you. And I've been able to pull stuff off or like just barely pull stuff off. So hopefully I explained that well, but I think it's more forgiving. And then what it is, there's like 3 maps. I don't know if it's going to add more to it later, but I'm in Los Angeles in the first map. And in each map, there's like, I don't know, 15 or 20 different things to do. So one could be like pull off a bunch of kickflips. One is like avoid the pedestrians, right? And there's a bunch of people around. One is escape the cops, which is fun, right? That's like actually a racing kind of one. And there's also racing, actually. There's other skateboarders that you can like race. So then you're not really focused on the points. You're focused on, just beating them through the level. And every one of those felt fun. And they're super fast. I don't think another game we've talked about in the show where, it's like you pick it up for 10, 15 minutes and can put it down.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, anything like that is good in my book. Like having short sessions, pick up and play, anything like that is great.
And
I
feel
love that
accomplished.
design.
You know what I mean? Like I got like 3 or 4 of these huge, sections done, and I was like, okay, cool. I had fun. I did crazy kickflips and stuff, and the music is really good, and it's just a treat. Like it just feels like a yummy treat. Like throughout this whole 2 weeks of me hating games, the Don't Give Up was good for kind of just introspective. And then also kind of because I reminded me of Earthbound, and I was like, "Ooh, there's a game that's different and not in my brain that normally." And then this one is like, I love skateboarding, but I get so frustrated at skateboarding games that fail you instantly by just like missing a trick. And this one I just felt like a lot easier and fun. And you customize your character a little bit. It's not a lot. It's just basic stuff, and you open up skills, and you can definitely upgrade your character, which is nice. Remember, I always talk about I need to upgrade or I won't feel happy.
You gotta upgrade something.
Yes, your life or your
You
game.
gotta get on that power curve and keep climbing.
Oh, I love the power curve. So there's power curve in it too. Great music, really fun, nice looking graphics. Highly recommend. I mean, it's just a treat. It's a freaking treat, and I love just jumping over to it, playing it for a bit, and then that's it. Just turn it off.
Sounds pretty cool. One question for you, though. I know that
Yes.
there's a couple different philosophies when it comes to how you control a skating game. Some games are like tap, 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 tap. Like you gotta like nail these like split second like inputs. Some of them are like use your balance on the sticks and kind of like use a little bit more physics. Some of them like just have a mix of buttons and stick. Like what kind of control are we talking about here, and what kind of like philosophy are they using? Like, is this about like quote unquote slightly more realistic, or is this more like arcadey in terms of control? Like, how do you control it?
I'm glad you brought that up. That's one of the things I missed. First off, it is, like I said earlier, like Tony Hawk. So it's not arcadey in the full sense, where if you do a kickflip, they use the analog sticks. So left and right analog sticks, okay? And so left kick or left analog, if you go up and to the left, is like a certain type of kickflip. Down to the left, down to the right, another kind of kickflip, right? So there's like maybe 8 different kickflips on the left analog. And you just have to like tap that, it's just like quick bing, and then you're doing a kickflip. So you don't have to like wait for it to land or like land it perfectly. It just does it. So that's kind of an arcadey moment.
Okay.
But it feels like when you hit the like box button or and kickflip in Tony Hawk, it just happens. So you're not really worried too much about it. But it is also important about like what's coming up next, right? Like you do a kickflip and then like hit a curb or something. So the other thing is that's really kind of fun and more physicsy based is that when you do a grind, you can use the spin buttons, which are the triggers on the top, and you can actually kind of like grind and then turn your spin because you're turning your board. And that feels more like a skate, like the game Skate, right? Like Skate 2 or 3. And that feels like physicsy. And you're like, ooh, this feels like a good skateboarding game. And then you come back to the ground, and then it's back to almost an arcade game. So it's literally mixing Ollie Ollie, Tony Hawk, and Skate, which is crazy because it's doing all of those things. And I know because I've played all of them a lot, and that's why it's a good question, because at times you're flicking the button or the analog sticks and you're like, oh, that's really easy. It's almost like Tony Hawk or arcadey. But then when you want to do like a really cool manual, you still got to like balance the board, And then when you're doing these different grinds, you can like do lots of different fun stuff where you're altering it, you're modifying it. So there's modifiers.
And all in the 2D plane.
All in the 2D plane that, has that 3D look to it.
Right.
And you're going up, you're going forward and backwards in the environment a little bit. I think it decides when you do that, which is kind of weird. But anyways, yeah,
Okay.
it's a really cool mix of control.
Sounds like a pretty, I mean, diverse, but also kind of like a new take. I mean, combining all those elements is pretty interesting because, like I said at the beginning of my question, like there's definitely kind of schools of thought when it comes to how you do a skating game. And this one might be in the middle of that Venn diagram, it seems.
It really is. I've never played a skateboarding game like it, and again, that's maybe another reason why I was like, "Oh, video games. Hello,
They're a thing. All right,
they're
cool.
a thing."
Excellent. That is Skate City. Where are you playing it?
PS4, PS5. I guess that's my
Excellent.
answer nowadays, right? Like for PS5, it's not. There's hardly any PS5 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird too. We're kind of in a weird space because I have packed up my PS4, I have packed up my Xbox One, and I just have out the PS5, the Xbox X, and the Switch, and I just say that whatever I'm playing, oh, it's on PS5, oh, it's on Xbox X. But most of the time we're still getting Xbox One codes, PS4 codes, or
Yeah,
whatever. Sometimes they're up-res, sometimes not. I don't know. Just for the sake of clarity, I'm just saying X and 5, even though they may not be for that, but they're on that store. You can play it on that console. It essentially is for that console, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird time to be living in right now.
It's for the Atari. I played it on the Atari
And television.
2600. No,
All right, that is
5200. Sorry.
5200. All right, that is Skate City. I have one to talk about now. I am playing this on the Xbox X, but it's not for the Xbox X. It's actually for Xbox One, but I'm playing it on the. Okay, whatever. Who cares?
We get
Who
it.
cares?
We
I'm
get
playing
it.
it on the Xbox. It's called Buildings Have Feelings Too.
Oh, I've seen this. The art is cool. I know that.
Interesting story. I saw this game at least 3, if not, I want to say like 5 years ago, but at least 3 years ago at like PAX
Really?
West in Seattle. I clearly remember it because I'm like, oh, this game looks so cool. Because what this game looks like, it's 2D, hand-drawn art with all the characters are buildings, literal buildings, but they have these teeny little arms and legs sticking out the side of them. And I just remembered looking at it and thinking it looks so neat and cute and fun. It's stuck in my mind as something that I really, really wanted to play at that time at PAX. And then it disappeared. It vanished. Did not hear anything about it for like basically forever. I thought it just died in the water. Maybe the devs quit on it. Who knows? I saw it pop up on PC a while ago, and I'm like, oh man, it's that game. And then here it is. It's on Xbox now. I think it's on everything. I think it's on Switch. I believe
Yeah,
it's
it's
on
on
PS.
everything, I think.
Yeah, it's on everything. So basically, Buildings Have Feelings Too. I'm very glad that it showed up. It's kind of a weird week for me because I don't usually play a lot of sim or management or building games, and that's a lot of what I played this week. This is a 2D hand-drawn game where you play as a building, and you are in, I guess, a series of streets, and each street has problems. There are some buildings, and all the buildings, of course, are alive. Like they're all just kind of hanging out in this world where you build a building, you build it, and then they just like stand there. They're just like, I'm chilling. I'm just like a building, and this is where I live.
Nice.
I'm just standing right here. So it looks like a bunch of people kind of
But
standing.
that's
next
what
to
a
each other.
building would do in their defense.
I mean, true. It's just weird to see them standing on little feet. It just seems like
Yeah.
they'd walk around a little bit. They don't. They just okay. Anyway, each street has problems. Like in one area, there's some construction. You got to help clear the construction. In another building area, there's like an old mill that's not doing any good business. They need to renovate and stuff. And so what you got to do is you take a look at the street. You're like, okay, so what's going on here? What are the problems? There's also like little goals. So in case you don't know what to do, you can look at a menu, little objective list, and it'll be like, oh, take the warehouse and it's right now a mill, turn it into a pub. And so you do that by spending some money. You have your currency is bricks in this game. So you take some bricks, you strip out the machinery of the mill, turn it into a pub, and this is all just a couple button presses. It's nothing major. It's like you're selecting stuff off a menu basically, and then it's like, okay, cool, now I'm a pub, and then it's like turn this pub into like a 3-star pub and like attract more people, and so it'll be like, oh, okay, how do you do that? And this is kind of where the game kind of loses itself a little bit. There's a lot to this game. It seems very easy, simple, and lighthearted on the surface. The graphics are super appealing, very cute. The game just has a really nice, approachable look to it. And it is, like, it's a good game. But I think where it trips up a little bit is the tutorial is not great. And I started the tutorial very soon. I wasn't sure what I was doing. And I was mucking around. I couldn't figure things out. I was talking to somebody at Game Critics, Damiano Gurley, who is playing this for us. I believe he's in Italy, I think, and he was working on this at the same time I was playing it. I'm like, what do you think? He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. What are you doing? I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. And so we both were kind of commiserating a little bit. And I eventually just had to just quit the game and just restart the tutorial. And I just really stopped and had to go really, really slow. And I'm like, okay, so I thought I understood this, but I don't. Let me look at it again. I'm not going to move forward until I 100% understand this. And once I did that, it required me to like click in all the menus multiple times. And some of these menus go 3 or 4 menus deep, right? So like at first I thought I got it, so I moved on, but then I really didn't get it. Like you have to look at the stats of a building. What does a building produce? What is a building like? Where's the best place to put it? Who likes to go there? All this information is listed if you start drilling down in some of the building menus. And it's fairly clear once you know to look for it, but the game is not super clear about how you play the game really. Like it's like, oh, I'm just placing buildings and this looks cute and fun, but there's a lot more to it. And one of the most important things that took me a long time to figure out is that when you are renovating a street, you have to count up in groups of 5. And the game does a terrible job of explaining this. But it's like the most important thing about the game, which is ironic, right? So like let's say that you've got your pub, and your pub is a 1-star pub, which means it's a pub, but nobody goes there. It's not too popular. They don't have many amenities. They need to class it up, right? So what do you need to upclass this pub? You need people. You need lots of patrons. You need to have like a whiskey distillery nearby. You need to have an office nearby. Like you got to guarantee like a good flow of customers. Sounds easy. How do you do that? You got to put in like a building, erect like an office building nearby, set up a housing building, like an apartment building. It seems straightforward, but I wasn't making any progress, right? But the key to this game, and I will really emphasize this to anybody listening to this podcast, if you're thinking about playing this game, and I think you should because I think it's pretty cool, what you need to know is that you need to count off by 5. So if you're working with a building, let's say the pub is in the street, you need to count, starting with your pub at 1, 2 buildings to the left, and 1, 2 buildings to the right. So that's 2 on the left, 2 on the right, counting the pub. That's a series of 5 buildings. That 5 buildings determines what you're doing, right? So like the 2 buildings on the right will influence the pub. The 2 buildings on the left will influence the pub. And that's what you have to focus on when you're working on a building. The game does not explain that. It's really confusing because I'm like, where do I need to put a building? How come it's not working? What's going on? I don't understand. But once you figure that out, it's like the key to the entire game. And so you're like, oh, whatever I'm doing has to be within 5 spaces. And if it's outside of 5 spaces, doesn't count. I get it now.
Finally. It's funny. It's funny. You said it sounds like the robot roads.
I mean, kind of, but it's not as restrictive once you figure it out. Like, it makes more sense once you figure it out. I just feel like the developers should have really, really emphasized that like a lot more because that is the key to the game. If you don't know that, you cannot play this game. Like nothing makes sense after that. So I figured it out. I'm like, oh, got it! Like giant exclamation point goes off over my head. Once I figured that out, I'm like, okay, great. All the rest of the pieces fall into place. That tells you how to place your buildings, tells you what you need to do, tells you, what your process should be. And then I started having like a lot of fun. So like really confused at the beginning, struggled through it, redid the tutorial, talked to some people, was a little bit lost still. And then once I got it. And now I think the game is really fun.
I have a question. Yes. So I get the idea that it's more Sim City, really, than what I maybe thought of it from the artwork alone. It just seems like it's more of a Simmy type game, right? I guess.
I mean, sort of.
Yeah. Well,
excuse me. I'm choking on water here. Pardon me for one moment.
Oh no! Continue getting your composure.
Sorry.
My question in more clarity is like, is that all that happens? Is the sim part of it? Because these buildings got legs and arms, bro. So like,
yeah.
Like you said, they're just standing there. Yeah, I thought that was maybe just the beginning, but like at some point, is there some sort of action-y moments?
Not that I've seen so far. So what the loop of this game is, once you figure out how it works, which for me was a pretty big hurdle. Once I got over that, it's so you come to a new street. The street has like 3 or 4 different problems. Each one of those are kind of their own little side quests, right? You got to revamp the building, the business in one. Somebody needs more tenants in another. Somebody wants to become a restaurant in another, like whatever it is, right? And so you need to analyze this street and figure out, how can I rearrange my chunks of 5 so that everybody gets what they need in their little chunk? And so it's about like placing buildings very carefully, making sure that each building is influencing each other building in the proper way, getting the right kind of building next to the other kind of building, and then they kind of like support each other, and then you like level up your buildings when everybody's happy, and then the street is happy when the quests are getting fulfilled, and then that's kind of what it is. Like it's more of it's almost like a puzzle game using kind of like SimCity elements. So it's not just a straight up builder. Like you're not just doing whatever you want. Like it is very much about, I have a problem, I need to solve it. I have 5 squares to put buildings in. What 5 do I put in here, and in what order to solve this problem?
No, I get that. It actually reminds me of like Hotel Sim or something. One of those hotel ones, remember, where you had to make the tenants happy, I think, and stuff.
Kind of along the same lines, very roughly, yeah. Basically.
Yeah. So, but my still question is, to play devil's advocate, is even if you do all that, not sure why the buildings are having arms and legs, and B, isn't the game called they have feelings? Like, where are the feelings in the buildings?
Well, I mean, I think it comes into just the fact that like the buildings all talk. They say, oh, I'm not happy with no business. I want to be happy because I want to be a productive business. Or
I get it.
Or like one building's like, oh, I'm a paper seller, but what I really want to be like is an accountant. Can you please help me be an accountant? I want to be a happy building. So that's where the feelings comes in, and they have arms and legs because if you make a mistake and you need to move things around, the buildings can move. Like you can click on them and say, hey, buddy, follow me for a minute. Walk down the block 3 more squares. Okay, you sit here, and dude over here, come back with me the other way. So you can move them around. So they're mobile, which probably explains the feet. The hands don't really do much, but the feet do something. So that's kind of how it goes. After that initial learning curve, I got to say, I like this game a lot. I think it's really cool. It looks great. I like the quasi puzzle feel to it. I think it's really nice. I will say though, it takes a lot of concentration. Like a lot of figuring this out takes a lot of, okay, dig into this menu over here. What does this guy need? What does this guy need over here? What does he got? Who can go over here? This didn't work. Like you're examining a lot of data and kind of figuring out what is the optimal thing. So it's not just like willy-nilly puzzle. Like it's not anything like Tetris. Like you're really very carefully constructing these little micro blocks, which it's slow going and it's pretty dense and you really got to think about it. But once you get something together, like it feels really good. Like you feel like you've really solved something, and like you feel like you're a genius when you're done with it. So I dig it so far. I think it's more challenging than I expected it to be, and in a different way. But I feel like it is a really good experience once you get the 5 squares thing. And I like it. I think it's really cool. I'm digging it.
Yeah, it seems like again, you can be in that mood for that kind of game, and if you are, then it just kind of adds like this other colorful, fun aesthetic, but you're still doing the management kind of drilling down stuff, which again can be very like meditative, right?
Totally, dude. Totally meditative. Totally get in the zone. Like I could see myself just like focusing on this, and the whole world melts away for like a couple hours while I'm just like managing the elements and moving things around and stuff. Like it's not the kind of game you jump in for a quick 5 minutes. It's like, okay, I've got like an hour, and I really want to dig into this, and I really want to get this street renovated. But I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a great formula. I haven't played anything that's quite like it. This kind of mix between puzzle and sim, and I think it's pretty good. Plus, it's super cute. So far, I'm pretty early on, but so far, definitely a thumbs up.
It's funny. I think it's a lot of stuff is marketing, right? Because we say this before on the show many times. But when I saw the art, I thought "Rain on Your Parade," which
it looks very similar to that. Yeah,
where it's like the little cloud has a face, and he's a cloud shouldn't have a face, and then like a building has arms and legs, well, they shouldn't have that. And totally opposite types of games. Rain on Your Parade is literally like no buttons or one button. And this is like a simmy type game within that. But anyways, either way, it still looks cool. And now that I understand what it is, and hopefully people who listen to this episode now understand, they might dig it for that.
I think it's actually pretty cool. I definitely give it a thumbs up. I am gonna try to put more time into it this week, and we'll see where I get to. But so far, I like it. Cool. So that is Buildings Have Feelings 2. Playing it on the Xbox X. Carlos, back to you. A little game called Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Man, this is a blast from the past. I remember playing this, a long time ago.
Yeah.
A long time ago.
We should have done our research and found out when it came out. Let me look.
Oh my god. I can do that while you're talking.
Okay.
But this is a top-down action RPG, kind of like Diablo-esque, but it's also got some story. A lot of killing of enemies and stuff like that. Man, I loved this back in the day. I feel like I played it on PS2, maybe, possibly. I don't know.
PS2,
I remember
for sure. Yeah, that's right.
Okay, okay, that sounds about right to me. I was surprised to see this come out of. I guess. To me, it seemed like it came out of nowhere.
It
but
did.
I guess they're
no. It came out of nowhere. So, yeah, let me fill you in on the first what you
Talk
just
at
said.
me.
Can I talk here? Should I talk here?
Talk here. Do it now.
I'm gonna talk here.
Okay.
Artie, stop fiddling with that. I told you I'd come back over here if you can't fucking handle your podcast. Well, I
And we
can.
certainly can't.
I'm saying words now. You shut up. Hey, did he tell them to go over to youtube.com/a lot of things?
Oh my god.
No,
Okay,
Artie, shut up. Artie, what an asshole.
This is
Anyways,
this is a shit show. Anyway,
this is my favorite show, by the way, so far. So Baldur's Gate, it came out of nowhere. You're not wrong. Like many game journalists were like, what? Because if you remember, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 is coming out, I believe, this year in a few months. Do you know that?
Really?
Oh,
I gotta be honest with you, man. I kind of got confused about which one was which, and is this a new one? Is it an old one? Is it a revamp? I don't recall.
I'll help you out. Don't worry. So the new one is coming out, and I believe it's in a couple of months, which is crazy. And it's like high-res graphics. It's made for the probably PS4, Xbox One, right?
Okay, wait. Hold up one second, because I'm already confused. Let's get this straight.
Okay.
Baldur's Gate. Okay, I just did the research here. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, which I totally remember playing on PS2.
Yep.
Originally came out in 2001. 20 years
Nuts.
ago. 2001. And Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, which I also played, came out in 2004. So are we talking about a remake of that one, or are we talking about a brand new game which is coming later this year?
Okay, so something's coming later this year. I believe it's Baldur's Gate Dark. Now I'm fucking confused. But let me tell you what I played, and then you can look up what the new game is. Just use the internet while I'm talking.
Okay, I'm gonna try
because there is a new game coming out. Okay, and to go back to my point, this one, which was the original on the PS2, wasn't no one's radar because the company I forgot who fucking developed it.
I think it was Interplay, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Interplay.
back in the day. But whoever put it back out and remastered it in quotes didn't tell anybody, and all of a sudden it just showed up. And on top of that, these are all marks against it. It was $30. So, and their new game, which you'll tell me later, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance something, is going to be like $40. So basically they said, here's a game from, you said, 2001. And I'll tell you what they did to it, by the way. Not much. And it's also $30, and we didn't even do any press for it, and here it is. So I was surprised, but like you, have fond memories of it. And it is that couch co-op, yummy, Diablo-like. Well, it's Baldur's Gate-like. It's a fucking like the original, right? It's more action-y, though, than, the small little characters. It's bigger characters, more action-y. And again, a million games have copied it since. I'll tell you some pros and cons. One of the biggest cons is it's remastered in quotes because all they did is get it to run on the new systems. And they cleaned up the polygons and stuff like that, so it's all clean looking. But that's it. Like, nothing else has changed.
It looks really like it is from 20 years ago.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? Go back and try to play the PS2 version, and you'll be fucked, because you won't be able to see it.
I'm sure, yeah.
So this one, I was like, oh, I do remember some of these dungeons being kind of tough to see, or whatever. And it's very clear. I guess you want to say 60 frames per second. I guess it is. You don't really challenge that. But it's like, no load times almost. And it's just super fast. So I was like, well, you know what? Fine. It looks fine. I can at least go back and beat it because I can't remember if I beat it the first time. And I was like, well, why not try that, Guess what shows up but the rage from a couple episodes ago.
Oh, no.
Because like we mentioned in this podcast, which will be a whole episode someday, difficulty in games. And this is an old-timey game, so they didn't, no quality of life stuff here.
No, this was rough back then.
So if it's too hard, it's just too hard, right? So here's what happens. And it's a short story, but it's a necessary one. I enjoy my time with this game. A pro that other games can learn from. What's that stupid game that I always get mad about? Not Pillars of Destiny, but the other one that's like Diablo.
Pillars of Eternity? Oh, no, you're talking about from Grinding Gears games, Path of Exile?
Yes. That game could learn from this. Actually, Diablo could learn from this. 2001, they did it better than those guys. Because when you attack in Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, you can also move forward. Mind-blowing. You know what I mean? Like when you swing your weapon,
yeah,
your little character moves a little bit forward. How the fuck? I love saying that word when I mean it that much in that way. Can Diablo 3 and hopefully the next Diablo, whatever, and these games not get that? Why do you have to sit still when you're attacking? Crazy. So the pro is this game has that. You know, you're doing combos, you're attacking, and you're going forward. It felt so good. It's like I missed that kind of action. And again, it's just comfort food. I love playing it. Here is the con. Here's the rage quit moment. Unfortunately,
Okay.
I go to the little old guy in the tavern. He sells me all the stuff. I remember the whole loop. He can sell me a bunch of stuff when I have enough money for it. I finally go down to the bottom of the list and pick the best armor, the best gloves, the best hat. All that stuff is the best that he sells. Okay. There's no more areas. There's no more open world. There's only one place to go, and it's where the boss is. And the boss is not a big monster, which I've fought in already. He's not a bit undead. He's just a dude. And as a dude, I have to beat. And I had the best stuff. Did I mention that?
The best stuff possible for where you're at in the game. There was nothing else to buy.
Possible. The only thing I could have got was one better sword, but it was only like 10 more damage. So I go down there, and I've been, doing okay and having health potions left over. He has little throwing knives. And he throws a little throwing knife at me, and he won't stop throwing them if I'm at range, which means far enough away from him. And they do like a quarter damage.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, that's fucking wrong. And then I get close to him, and if he starts swinging too fast and I'm not running around enough, dead. And I mean, I'm using health potions, and he's still hitting me while I'm using a health potion, and I still died. So I just had to stop. Like, what?
Interesting. I would, I did by any chance, I don't really recommend this. It's not really my go-to, but in a situation like that, I would be curious to just like jump on YouTube and be like, okay, so is there like a trick to beating this guy? It sounds like he's just out DPSing you, like hands down. I wonder if there was is it a problem with the game, or is there some trick to it? Are you supposed to immobilize them somehow, or is there something you're missing?
I have two answers. I have two answers to that, and I was about to go look. Okay. The one answer is I don't want to anymore.
Sure, which I totally get.
Because it's like a game, and like if I've been playing like, I don't know, 5 hours of it and I've already been doing well and beating other bosses, then that doesn't make sense,
You shouldn't have to. Yeah. I am definitely of the camp of you shouldn't have to.
Yeah, and I know all the controls, so it wasn't like I was doing a certain control. Like I was running circles around him. I was doing all these other things. It just wasn't happening. And then secondly, I think the answer is I first played that game and got out of that area. I know we got out of the area, but I played it co-op. So I recommend if anybody wants to go back to this, real glowing review of Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance original, it's just you have to have a friend. I think they built that game for co-op.
I did finish it, and I guarantee I played it all the way through in co-op, so that makes perfect sense. And that's something that you should think about when you are porting something like this. You got to rebalance. Like, it's got to be balanced for one player or two players. You can't just have a two-player difficulty, and if there's only one player playing, they're fucked. Like, that's not cool. You can't. That's terrible design.
That's what it feels like right now. And again, I paid the money for it, like I do often. So it's like it's a little frustrating because I was like excited to just, and I might go back. I might do what you said, look at YouTube, see if there's a way. But it doesn't make me confident, right? Because how am I going to not know I'm going to meet another guy like that?
Right.
So it's a little frustrating. It came out of nowhere, a weird thing. Now tell me what the other game they're making is.
Baldur's Gate 3. It's in early access. They were going to launch it this year, but I think it's been delayed.
No. Sorry, but you did your own homework.
Is that not it? That's what I'm finding.
No, Baldur's Gate 3 is already out in pre-release or whatever. But
yeah, in early access. Yeah, I just
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Oh, a new Dark. Okay, let's look at that.
Yeah.
I didn't search for that. Let's check that out.
Yeah. So it's like Dark Alliance 2, I guess, or something.
No, there's already been a 2.
Oh, you said that. But there's very, very like super modern graphics. So
I'm seeing Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2 port.
No, here it is.
I'm not seeing anything else.
Wizards of the Coast has announced Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance will be Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance.
Oh, so they changed the name of it.
That's why it's not Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Now I'm very confused. Anyways.
Now that you're saying that, I do see what you're saying. There is a Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. Is it connected? I don't know if it is connected. Who knows? Is it the same series? It looks like more of a behind the back kind of a game than a top down.
Well, then this one says Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 2, PlayStation 2, because you're right, it did come out. We're all sorts of confused. We don't do homework, so let's just forget this whole thing. Forget this review.
Forget we even did this segment. We're going to just move on
I'll cut it out of the thing. No, I won't cut it out because I am still frustrated at that. So
yes. All right. Anyway, that was Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, a port of the one from literally 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
Not recommended unless you've got a PAL.
Yeah.
All right. One more game. A couple of quick shout outs and then we're out of here. So we have brought up on this podcast a couple of times now the game Legend of Keepers. You've played it on PC, I believe. I saw that it came out. We were kind of talking about it, and you seem to really like it. And that was one thing that kind of swung me towards it. It's out now on the Switch, which is what I was kind of waiting for. This seems like the kind of thing that I like. It is a 2D semi-roguelike game where you play as a boss monster at the bottom of a dungeon. You have lots of minion monsters, and what you want is to protect your treasure. Heroes will come into your dungeon in groups of 3. And again, this is like a 2D pixel-based presentation. Your monsters are on the right side of the screen, heroes on the left side of the screen. Dungeons are divided up into rooms. It's turn-based combat. And so you want to protect your treasure. Heroes come in, and in each room you can like set up some monsters, you can set up a trap, you can set up a big monster, you can set up a magic spell, like whatever. The game like automates a lot of this for you. It's very simple, very easy to understand once you get into it. Again, another one of these games where the tutorial is not great, but once you figure out what you're doing, it's pretty straightforward. So far, pretty good. I got into it. The concept is good because even though there's many games like this, Dungeon Keeper and stuff like that, the way that this is structured, it's so fast playing and so light and easy to get into as a roguelike. I found it really appealing. I like the fact that you can do a run, like a small run is just like, 5 minutes or something when you're doing one level. But if you do like a big run, like a campaign, half an hour?
Yeah,
maybe 45 minutes. Like that's super reasonable for like a semi-roguelike. Like that is where I like it to be because you get in and if you lose, you're like, okay, well I lost 20 minutes. That's okay. But if, like some of these roguelikes, they just get out of hand and it's like, I lose like 3 hours of a playtime. That's too much to lose.
Wait,
right?
can
That's
I put
crazy.
an asterisk there? Because the minute you said the word roguelike, I kind of almost don't feel like it is one.
Really? Okay, so let me talk about this part and then you come in. Yeah, okay. I said semi-roguelike and I do want to qualify that a little bit. So what happens is it's roguelike in the sense that you have randomly generated heroes that you have to fight against. So it's not always the same group of heroes every time. You get randomly generated group of monsters. I mean, there's, it's not like the game is creating monsters on the spot, but there's like a whole, 30 different monsters or something, and they'll give you a random mix of those. And as you go through the game, you like earn more, but it's always kind of random. Like you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
There's random events that you can go through that'll like earn you money or lose you money, get you a free monster or kill one of your monsters. So in that sense, I think a lot of it is like really randomized. And ultimately you have some persistence in your boss monster where they level up over time and that's persistent. You unlock certain things over time and that's also persistent. So it's not a straight up roguelike, but I feel like there are enough roguelike elements, or at least heavily randomized elements, so that every time you do a run, like it feels like you're doing something new, new monsters, new challenges, new enemies, even though the overall structure is the same. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I guess. But what's different is, what's that dungeon game where you played as the dungeon master? Death Trap Dungeon or something, right?
Death Trap Dungeon. I mean, yeah, okay, I know.
So I just feel like this game feels like more of that type of game for me. When it's a sim in a way that, like, yeah, you have a pool of monsters you're picking from. There is persistent stuff that carries over, but I'm never really even worried about that. I'm just kind of like interested in, I don't want to call it a run, but like this mode where heroes come in and attack you, almost like a tower defense in a way. And so if in my mind, it might just be a mind thing. It's like, I thought of it as like a Death Trap Dungeon with a sim kind of element, because I'm like managing my crew, which is actually like Office Mates, because there's a lot of comedy in this as well.
There is too, yeah.
And so, yeah, I think because of the comedy, because of the way each little section plays out, I never felt like I was like, again, controlling the hero. It's the opposite. So I'm not like just failing and dying all the time. But you could die, in quotes, which means like you didn't build a good enough defenses. But for me, I just felt more like a defense, tower defensey type game.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it is all those things, but I think it also has the roguelike elements into it. You know, like
Yeah.
there's the randomness to all the events and the different enemies and the different monsters you have. Like for example, on my first run, I ended up getting a bunch of monsters that were really strong with poison. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna put these guys together and just roll with it. Worked out really well. The next run, I'm like, okay, poison was great. I want to do poison again. Didn't get a single fucking poison person. I got like
Oh, right.
people
Yeah.
who were doing like bleed as a status effect. I'm like, okay, well, I got to change it up. I can't rely on my old tricks anymore because I don't have those people anymore. I got to start learning how to do the bleed status. And so, like, each run is something different, right? Because like it makes you change your way up. You get new traps. Sometimes my favorite trap is like this big frog that spits poison. On my next run, I didn't get the frog. I'm like, okay, well, I got to have a new strategy now. So that's what I mean by the roguelike. It's randomly generated, and each time you do a run, you can't do the same thing. Like you can't build a super team. You can't have your same three characters every time because you might not get them the next time. You might have to work with somebody totally new. You know what I mean?
But I guess the other thing that is good, and yeah, it could still be roguelike, but I like it better, is that persistent, like different traps and things you can get, or monsters, or boss, abilities, because there's like really cool boss abilities.
Yeah.
They do level up, and you do keep them like every time, right? Like it's not like there's just so many other games where, I'm looking at fucking Returnal, obviously, but other ones where you don't even know if you're gonna like get something, right? Like what persists? I don't even remember. Like this currency, but this one you're like, no, I bought that fucking death trap, and it just felt more solid to me and like grounded. Where I was like, and to your point, like if the poison like people or bleed people didn't come through like I wanted, if I had a level 2 saw, it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like I just kept putting resources into my, like, I remember there was a death saw or something. And I was like, I had a level 3 death saw, and it doesn't care what you are. It's going to do 500 damage,
Oh yeah, the saw is actually a really good one. I get you. But
I
like
love the saw.
like for example, I had the saw in the first level. I thought it was great. It causes a bunch of bleed. It hits everybody in the hero party. It's awesome. The next run, I didn't have the saw again. Like it just wasn't there. So I don't.
Right.
Yeah. So like once it's like per run, you're building up guys, and then once you finish that run, you go back to it. You might get the same guy again, but he does not have the levels that you put into him. Like he goes back to level 1, and you kind of got to start from the beginning. Your boss guy keeps all that stuff, which is good.
Yes, he sure does. Yeah.
But the minions and stuff kind of start over. So regardless, though, I do think it's a pretty cool game. I like really what I like about it the best is it's quick, the runs are fast, it's very easy and approachable. It's a good balance between there's just enough depth to feel like you have some things to fiddle with, but it's not so deep that you feel like you're doing stat management. Like it's just really quick. You're doing quick battles. You're doing quick dungeon runs, quick defenses of your treasure. It all just goes really fast, and you can get in, get out, get in, get out. I think it feels really good. I also want to say I think the graphics are actually quite good. It's a lot of really good pixel art where the characters are very expressive. There's some cool designs. I think it all works really well. So far, I like this game a lot. I think it's really fun. I think the title is boring. Legend of Keepers doesn't really tell you anything. They should have got a jazzier title, but whatever. After you get past the title and once you learn how to play, I think it's actually really quite good and well designed, and I give it a big thumbs up as a guy who plays all the roguelikes and who likes a lot of 2D pixel games, who likes this kind of run-based game. It's hitting all the right marks for me. I think it's really good. There is, however...
Oh, there's a but.
There's a giant...
Wait, a giant butt. Okay, before you get to the giant butt, I was just about to say, could this be the only so far roguelike
that you like?
That we both like.
I think it probably is so far. If you like this one, I definitely like this one. I know you like this one, so this might be so far the one and only roguelike that I think we can both agree on is a good game.
But
here is the problem, and it is a major problem. The problem is I did not play this game on PC. You played this on PC, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's now available on everything, right?
I think it's only on PC and Switch.
Oh, PC and Switch. Okay.
I believe it's PC and Switch. So I bet this game is awesome on PC. When you bring it to the Switch, the developers did that kind of port, which I hate.
Here we go.
Because they did not readapt this game to take advantage of the Switch's screen. The graphics on this game are very small. And what's even smaller than the tiny graphics?
I can guess.
The motherfucking text. The text is so... Okay, I'm going to be very serious with you, Carlos. I am not joking.
I'm not even a joke. I can see your serious face through the microphone.
Yes, this is... Okay, listen to me. This is not a bit. What I'm about to say, 100% fucking real truth, real words, shit's real, okay? I had to go get a magnifying glass to play this game comfortably because the text was so goddamn small. Not a
Wow.
joke. I had a magnifying glass. I'm like, where's my fucking magnifying glass? I can't see the shit on the screen because it is so small. I tried to play it without a magnifying glass. My eyes were getting super tired. The text is just microscopic. And it's like a lot of this text matters. You have to look at what the heroes are strong against, what they're weak against, what the abilities of your characters are, who's got what power. Like, you need to constantly read this stuff, and it's not always the same because you're getting new characters. They did a miserable job of porting this to the Switch. It just is so small. It is physically uncomfortable to play.
Let's do the let's do the hair prayer emoji.
Yes, we're doing the prayer hands.
Yeah.
We are pleading. Listen, developers, your game is good. I actually like your game a lot. I think it's quite good, but this port is fucking miserable. This text, I cannot imagine a world in which you looked at this text and said, you know what, this is fine. I don't believe it. You guys rushed this through, or whoever rushed it through. It's not okay. Games like this are great on the Switch, but they need to be adapted properly. This is not a proper adaptation. I put it on docked mode.
Mm-hmm.
Docked mode is slightly better, but it's still an eyesore. Like, it needs bigger text, and the graphics need to be upsized. It needs to be properly ported to the Switch. This is not a proper port.
Wait, but on a docked mode, that doesn't make any sense. Like, if you should be able to see it on docked mode. I don't think
I can see it because my TV is so much bigger than the Switch screen, but the text in like the proportional text size to the screen is still way too small.
I see
Like,
what you mean.
It should be bigger than it is. I mean, it's bigger, but it's not big enough.
So that's something they can do in a patch. So this is something they
absolutely.
very easily can do. Like the pink text in Don't Give Up and this. Like, just make it bigger.
Yes. It's a shame because I think this is a great game. If they fix the text, I would be happy to recommend this to anybody. I've been having a great time. Lots of fun. I really like it. It's been keeping me up at night. I think Legend of Keepers is a really good game. Plays quick, easy to get into, solid roguelike. I mean, it's good. It's all good. But this text is fucking abysmal, and it's not okay, and they need to fix it ASAP.
Okay. So we both are still saying that we love it. So that's cool.
Yes, I do think it's very good.
First roguelike ever on the podcast that we both enjoy. To me, it's mainly because it doesn't feel as much like a roguelike, I think, and more of like a tower defense. And also there's comedy, which we don't really talk about much.
There is a lot of comedy.
There's a lot of comedy because your monsters are your employees, and they like get disgruntled, and they have like whole employee banter and stuff. And I just love it. It's also like addictive. I just love the like.
It's really hard to stop playing this game.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to do one more run.
One more run. Yeah, totally.
And that's a great quality. It's a great quality to have. I wish they will hear this podcast, hear our feedback, fix it ASAP, and I would be happy to like recommend this game to anybody. I think people should play this. I think it's really fun. It's good stuff, but you just cannot send it out the door with text like this.
I'm gonna send this podcast to at least both those developers for sure. And we'll get it done. By the way, to follow up real quick, that is Legend of the Keepers. People, check
Legend
it out.
of Keepers, yes. Check it out.
To follow up on that Baldur's Gate thing, it was confusing, and I looked it up. It is Dungeons and Dragons : Dark Alliance, which is the new game.
And it's related?
And I don't know how much it's related. It's got Dungeons and Dragons in it, right? So Baldur's Gate is D&D, and it's D&D, and it's a co-op action RPG. So those are the same things, like, co-op in RPG.
I mean, yeah. Look at the screenshots. It looks nothing like the original, so it seems
it's
like a kind of a big takeoff. Yeah.
Like, I guess it actually has a PS5 version.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's not Xbox. I think it's just PS5, PS4. So yeah, Wizard of the Coast have said it's coming out June 22nd, and so that's really soon. So again, that other Baldur's Gate random Dark Alliance showed up. I don't know why. I can only recommend it if you have a buddy and you want to play it with them, it's kind of fun to go back to an old school game. But, this seems interesting, Dark Alliance, Dungeons and Dragons. So
we shall see. All right, cool. That is it for the show, folks. Thank you very much for listening. Just a quick reminder, next week, Carlos is taking a brief sabbatical from the show. We will be joined by previous co-host Corey Motley. We will be talking a lot about Resident Evil Village. We'll have a couple more games as well, but Village will probably be the focus. So keep your ears peeled for that. Also, I want to give a couple really quick shout outs to people who have been listening to the show, I assume, and retweeting us on Twitter. Thank you very much for the shares. Every little share helps. Every little bit helps helping spread this wonderful podcast to the larger world out there. Shout out to Andre Daughtry, Mike Burnett, and Ryan Pascal. Thank you all for retweeting us last week. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, every bit helps. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And that is it for the show. But before we go, we do want to get your questions and comments. Hit us up, sovideogamespodcast@gmail.com. We are on Twitter @sovideogames. But you can reach us individually, and I guess
Artie, get in here. Artie, get in
Artie
here.
can get in here too.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
you can hit
I
Artie
told
as
you.
well.
You should have had me the whole podcast. I sound better than you. You know that.
So Carlos and/or Artie, where can people find you both?
Let's get him out of here. He's done enough already. All right. Did you hear how he talked during the podcast? He didn't articulate his words. Okay.
Very true.
Let me tell you, I can do that. So here's what you got to do: is got to go to youtube.com/a-lot-of-things. Okay. That's the first thing. He doesn't know the rest of it. The second thing is you got to go to TikTok, and it's @videogamesketch. It's his dumb things. I'm in there sometimes, but most of the time I'm not because it's really dumb. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I need a coffee. So there you go, Carlos. Get back.
There you go. Thank you very much, Artie. And yes, we'll get Carlos back in a second. As for me, same as usual on the social media, Twitter and Instagram, BradGallaway, all A's, no O's. And that is going to do it for episode 232. Thank you once again for joining us here on the So Video Games Podcast. And we'll see you next Friday. But in the meantime, this is Bye from Brad.
And bye from Carlos. You did it wrong, you idiot. I told you should have let me do it. Here, I'll do it. He meant to say later, Gator. That's what the kids say, right?
That is what the kids say. Yes.
I mean, dab you later. Dab you later. That's the kids say that, right?